the Employee Relations Director at the Wake Forest University Career Center. And as we've been doing for the last month or so, we've been giving people an update on what we're seeing in the current labor market for college graduates. This information has been seen by students, employers, and folks internal to the university. So we really appreciate all the feedback that we've received on this. If you're a student and still searching, we hope to debunk some of the myths that you may be seeing on some of the media outlets. If you're employers trying to find what other people are doing so you can make a more informed decision, we hope this is going to be helpful for you, and then anyone else in higher ed that's trying to make a sense of what students are going through, what employers are looking for, and so forth. We hope this is helpful for you. So at this time, I'm going to go through a couple of different segments and tell you a little bit about what students should be doing next with this information. So first of all, we want to start with internships. What we're seeing now is about half as many companies that have continued with their internships have now canceled their internship programs. And there's still about 13% or so that are still trying to decide right now, and I think they're trying to buy a little bit more time, but based off of what we're seeing in the last few weeks, those people are likely to cancel those internships as well. Of those that are continuing their intern programs, almost all of them are going to be done in a virtual format. The trend is to shorten the length of the virtual internship. So before it may have been 10 to 12 weeks on campus or on site at a company headquarters. Now it may only be 6 weeks. And a lot of times some of those have been moved further down the summer to start, say, in July, again, trying to buy more time. In a couple of cases, we've had a couple of firms that have said, you know what, we're not going to do the internship program this year, but we feel so good about our process, we're actually going to offer you a full-time opportunity in 2021. And we certainly hope that trend continues. There's an unofficial crowdsourced site that you'll see to the right in the chat screen, GitHub. It has about 450 different intern programs giving you the status and other notes. It also has some links to companies that are hiring right now. So it's a great resource for you if you want to go to the left there in the chat feature where it says internships. Now, full-time, what we've seen over the last 3 weeks is it's been pretty constant. About 76% of firms remain committed to their full-time hires. But many are beginning to delay their start dates. Again, trying to get a little bit more time to figure out what's happening with the market and when the economy is opening. About 12% have rescinded those full-time offers, and then there's probably about another equal amount, 12% or so, that are remaining on the fence about trying to clarify a decision. Are they going to continue with those full-time offers or not? Again, these figures also align with a crowdsourced site that I've posted here in the chat feature by Candor. They have about 7,000 companies that they're tracking. And based off of that information, about 52% of those say that they're still hiring, 30% have a hiring freeze, about 6% are laying off, and about the remaining 13% or so have 2 or more categories. So it's kind of inconclusive in terms of what they're doing through that medium. And again, this is not just for college recruiting, this is for all hiring as well. So that gives you the sense what's happening from an intern and a full-time perspective. As it relates to student engagement, what we're seeing, and this is information that's measured on Handshake, that logins and applications for students took a sharp dive at the first few weeks of the crisis, but it's now picking up and is slightly on par or above par what we've seen at this time last year during a normal environment. Increased engagement is occurring during the weekend, which we believe is an indication of the demands of an online curriculum and the changes that come along with that. So we're seeing more students logging in and interacting and engaging during the weekend. Now, job postings is a pretty interesting thing that we found here. In the first couple of weeks on Handshake, the postings were really, really good, quite resilient. similar to what we've seen and even greater than what we've seen in the previous 2 years. But in the last 2 weeks, we've seen about a 30% dip, and probably those opportunities are finally making its way down to the recruiters who are posting these opportunities. So you're beginning to see a huge decline on the Handshake site for jobs for our students. Burning Glass reported about a week ago a 25% decline in entry-level jobs for college graduates. Chimera Economics reported a similar decline, around 22%. And one trend that we're seeing is more postings are just disappearing on company sites. Yet because you're using an aggregator like Handshake and some of the others, the recruiters may not be as diligent in taking down the postings on the Handshake site, which makes a lot of dead links, and it can frustrate students when they're looking for these opportunities. Further evidence shows that from some of our interaction with recruiters is that some of these recruiters have been reassigned within the organization to take on more critical functions, and others have been laid off or furloughed during this particular time. Therefore, we're trying to have an increased attention of our time trying to secure accurate links for our students. If any employers are watching this, please go into Handshake and help us out and take those down. For students, please don't get discouraged. If you see that, it's just a byproduct of the environment, as everything is moving very, very quickly here. And we're working on a way in which you can help report if there's a broken link as well. But if you do see these opportunities, it would be wise to apply as soon as possible from that. But that is something that we're seeing with job postings right now. The industries in which we see openings, again, more non-traditional. This hasn't changed since the beginning. Supply chain, food and health, retail. So the CVSs, the Amazons, the Krogers of the world very much are in need of many, many, many individuals. The more traditional industries in which a lot of our students would go into, they are still in the hiring, no surprise, information technology, financial services, business software, consulting / government, still have more people trying to hire than are not. There's a couple of sites here if you want to see in greater detail. There's 2 sites here on top of the other 2 that are up front that can give you more insight as well. So what should students be doing now? Well, seekers who want a job or internship, flat out, they need to apply. They need to apply to the opportunities that we provide or in Handshake or in our newsletter. We have been able to source nearly 600 opportunities for students, and many of those have in at least one application right now, but we really need to up those numbers in terms of applications. The market is changing by the hour almost, and all of these opportunities, as I said before, are subject to change. But I think there's a number of opportunities there that people feel like that the economy is so bad that they're not even trying to apply to some of these. So even though it may not be your plan A or your A company, you want to go and try to apply here. And this may be in your plan B or plan C, but you want to apply at this time. And even more important is, as time progresses, we feel like there's going to be more competition for these positions, not only from current students, but for individuals that have already have work experience, because they're being laid off or furloughed as well. So the main message here is you want to act now and act often. For more information about what you should do in your job search, if you want to go to opcd.wfu.edu, we've redesigned the site, and there's a lot more information for students to understand which scenario that they're in and how they should respond. So again, we want to provide this information to you on a regular basis. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at meeses@wfu.edu. Keep the faith, keep going. It's going to get better. We're with you. We're here to help you every step of the way. Thanks for your time.